As you probably know, one of the most amazing pictures to come out in the past few years is E.T., and this young lady has earned a great deal of attention from her appearance in it, and she is just 7 years old.
Remember those golden nights of late-night TV where Johnny Carson ruled the screen with his effortless charm and Hollywood's biggest stars spilled secrets that left America buzzing? On Hollywood Files, we're diving deep into the archives to uncover the hidden corners of Tinseltown's most iconic moments. The laughs, the scandals, and the jaw-dropping surprises that changed entertainment forever. But wait, did you know one guest's wild confession nearly got the show yanked off the air? Stick around for the shocking reveal. If you're loving these throwbacks, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. Let's roll the tape. 1. Drew Barrymore left her teeth on Johnny Carson's desk. The 1980s. A time when late-night TV was king, shoulder pads were massive, and a pint-sized Drew Barrymore could waltz onto The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson and turn the whole thing into a hilarious, heartwarming spectacle. Picture this. It's July 28th, 1982, just a month after E.T. the Extraterrestrial blasted into theaters and made Spielberg's alien puppet a household name. Fresh off her breakout role as Gertie, the wide-eyed little sister who befriends the wrinkly space visitor, 7-year-old Drew Barrymore makes her first ever talk show appearance. And boy, does she make an entrance, literally tripping over her shiny new shoes and face-planting right in front of the king of late night. If that doesn't scream unscripted magic, I don't know what does. Johnny Carson, the smooth-talking host who'd seen it all after 2 decades on air, greets her with his trademark wit. Well, that's a pretty funny entrance. Did you rehearse that? He quips as the audience erupts in laughter. Drew, unfazed and dusting herself off like a pro, blames her slippery shoes. It's the start of what would become one of the most charming, unpredictable interviews in TV history. A masterclass in innocence clashing with adult showbiz polish. Carson, ever the gentleman, treats her like an equal, never talking down or pandering. He asks if she picks out her own clothes, and Drew admits sometimes, but not always. Cue relatable kid logic about moms vetoing outfits. But this is no ordinary chat. It's a roller coaster of revelations that had viewers at home spitting out their coffee or whatever folks drank at 11:30 p.m. back then. Things get real cute real fast when Drew drops a bombshell. I've been waiting all my life to meet you. Carson, playing along with his deadpan charm, replies, "Your whole life. That's why I stayed on the show an extra 7 years, just so you would show up here." While the crowd eats it up, and Drew confesses she stays up late to watch his show. Just because of you. Carson, feigning skepticism, asks if she gets all the jokes. Her honest reply? Some of them. Boom. Applause and cheers. It's pure gold, showcasing Drew's unfiltered honesty that made her stand out even among grown-up celebs. As the conversation flows, Carson dives into her healthy California lifestyle. Aerobics? Check. Swimming? Loves it. But watch out for those black and blue lips from cold pools. And snorkeling? Well, she calls it goggles and admits one pair was too big, letting water in her eyes. Carson's gentle probing turns everyday kid stuff into TV treasure. But hold on to your dentures, folks. The real shocker comes when Drew flashes her pearly whites, or lack thereof. Carson compliments her smile, and without missing a beat, Drew pops out her flipper, a temporary dental bridge for her growing teeth, right there on national TV. "It would be kind of easier to talk without my teeth," she says matter-of-factly, handing it over like it's no big deal. The audience loses it. Carson's jaw drops, pun intended, and he jokes, "Most women I know would not do that. They wouldn't like anybody to know that secret." Drew, cool as a cucumber, explains it hurts, and she's not a fan. She even warns she'll forget it if she leaves it on his desk. "My mom would kill me." This moment? Iconic. It's the kind of raw, unscripted vulnerability that late-night TV thrives on, but coming from a 7-year-old? Mind-blowing. Carson, recovering, asks about her dentist, Dr. Smith. Drew gushes, "He's a real good dentist. He made my retainer too. It's purple." And why does she like going? "I like to have my teeth cleaned and have that yucky stuff in your mouth. It tastes good." But wait, there's more. She admits to a crush. "You got a crush on Dr. Smith." Drew confirms with a grin, noting he's gentle with teeth and in his 20s or 30s. Carson, ever the comedian, suggests maybe he should switch dentists. The flirtatious kid energy is off the charts, and it's all delivered with such wide-eyed sincerity that it's impossible not to crack up. Shifting gears to her budding career, Carson asks about E.T. Drew spills the beans on her audition process, originally for Poltergeist, which she nixed because it was too scary. Spielberg saw her personality and cast her as Gertie instead. She demonstrates her acting chops on the spot. First, an in-awe face. Wide eyes, mouth agape, pretending the ceiling's crashing. Then, the scream test. Carson eggs her on. "Can you scream? Guys ready?" Drew lets out a blood-curdling shriek that echoes through the studio, prompting Carson to quip, "If you do that with your teeth in, they'd be over there about 40 feet away." It's hilarious and a tad terrifying. This tiny girl channeling horror movie energy like a pro. She explains practicing at home despite a sore throat, getting all sweaty and filthy from the effort. And get this, she even hints at an Eat sequel, which, spoiler alert, never happened in the way she thought, swearing Carson to secrecy. The audience laps it up, and Carson plays along, a co-conspirator. As if that wasn't enough, Drew name drops her crushes. Not just the dentist, but a boy named Steven from swimming class. Carson teases her about her famous family lineage, granddaughter of the legendary John Barrymore. But Drew shrugs off an old movie of his as kind of scary and not her jam. She prefers E.T.'s cute face. The cherry on top? Drew serenades Carson with a toothless rendition of Babyface. "You got the cutest little baby face. It is so cute. No one can take your place." Carson's response? "No woman has ever sung to me before with her teeth out." The studio erupts, and it's the perfect cap to a segment that's equal parts adorable and audacious. This appearance wasn't just a promo spot for E.T., it was a star-making moment. At 7, Drew displayed a confidence and openness rare even in adults, turning potential awkwardness into entertainment gold. Carson's warmth amplified it. He adjusted his pace, respected her boundaries, and let her shine. No wonder it went viral in the pre-internet era. Clips resurfaced on YouTube years later, racking up millions of views. Fans on social media still gush about it, calling it timeless and charming. But let's be real, there was a shocking edge too. A kid casually removing her fake teeth on live TV, spilling crushes, and screaming like a banshee. In 1982, when child stars were often scripted and sanitized, this was refreshingly raw. It humanized Hollywood, showing that even Barrymore starred as goofy kids with loose teeth and big dreams. Decades later, Drew reflected on the interview as a pivotal point, crediting Carson for making her feel seen. She returned to the show multiple times as an adult, but nothing tops that first toothless triumph. In a world of polished celebs, this segment reminds us why we love late night, the unexpected, the unfiltered, and the utterly unforgettable. If you're craving more throwback vibes, hunt down the full clip. Just don't forget your own teeth while laughing. 2. Ed Ames's epic 1965. Tomahawk toss, the bullseye that hit below the belt and cracked up. Johnny Carson for eternity. Step back to the swingin' 60s, folks. An era of beehive hairdos, muscle cars, and TV that felt like a family gathering around the tube. On April 29, 1965, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson was humming along in its third year, with Carson already cementing his status as the king of late-night cool. Enter Ed Ames, the baritone-voiced crooner and actor best known for playing Mingo, the Oxford-educated Cherokee sidekick on the hit Western series Daniel Boone. Ames wasn't just there to plug his show or belt out a tune. Oh no, he was about to deliver one of the most accidental, gut-busting moments in television history. A tomahawk throw that landed square in the family jewels of a cowboy silhouette, turning a simple demo into a legendary blooper that still has folks howling 6 decades later. Picture the scene. The NBC studios in Burbank are buzzing. Carson, dapper in a suit and tie, introduces Ames with that signature Midwestern charm. Ames, towering at 6 feet 4 inches with his matinee idol looks, steps out looking every bit the frontiersman. He's got a real tomahawk in hand. Not some prop, but the genuine article, sharp enough to split hairs. The setup is straightforward. A wooden board with a painted outline of a cowboy stands at the end of the stage. Carson, ever the curious host, asks Ames to demonstrate his throwing skills, honed from his role on Daniel Boone. "Show us how it's done," Carson says, probably expecting a clean chest hit or maybe a dramatic miss for laughs. Ames explains the technique. Grip it like this, aim for the vital spots, release with a flick. The audience leans in, anticipating a cool Wild West trick. Then the magic or mishap happens. Ames winds up, hurls the tomahawk with precision, and thunk! It embeds itself right in the cowboy's crotch, handle pointing skyward like a defiant exclamation point. The studio erupts. Ames freezes, a mix of shock and sheepish grin on his face. Carson? He loses it completely. The unflappable host doubles over, laughing so hard he can't speak for what feels like forever. Tears stream down his face as he staggers toward the board, pointing at the unfortunate landing zone. The band kicks in with a cheeky rim shot, but the laughter drowns it out. This isn't your quick chuckle. It's a sustained roar that clocks in at nearly 4 minutes, one of the longest uninterrupted laugh sessions in TV history. The camera pans to the audience wiping their eyes, while sidekick Ed McMahon howls in the background. Even the crew is cracking up off camera. Carson, gasping for air, finally regains enough composure to deliver the zinger that seals the deal. "I didn't even know you were Jewish." Boom. The crowd goes nuclear. It's a sly nod to the Jewish rite of circumcision, a bris. Tying into Ames' heritage is Edmund Dante Zurich, born to Russian Jewish immigrants. Ames, playing along like a champ, quips back, but Carson isn't done. He grabs the tomahawk, pretends to yank it out, then deadpans, "Welcome to Frontier Bris." The puns fly fast and furious, with Carson joking about how that's one way to disarm a foe. Ames, ever the good sport, laughs it off and even takes a second throw, this time nailing the cowboy's head, proving it wasn't all luck. Or bad luck. But that first toss? Pure comedic gold, born from sheer accident. What made this moment so shocking and hilarious? Timing, for one. In 1965, TV was still pretty buttoned up. Think Leave It to Beaver vibes, not Saturday Night Live edginess. A groin shot, even on a dummy, was pushing the envelope, especially on a family-oriented late-night show. Censors must have been sweating bullets. But since it was live, there was no bleeping it out. Ames later revealed in interviews that he aimed for the chest, but the throw went low. A fluke that could have bombed, but instead bonded him with Carson forever. The host called it his favorite Tonight Show moment, replaying it on anniversaries and even inviting Ames back in 1976 to reminisce. "That throw changed my life," Ames joked during one revisit, while Carson feigned horror at the clip. The clip's legacy? It's a staple in blooper reels, racking up millions of views on YouTube. Fans on Reddit and Facebook still dissect it, praising how Carson turned potential awkwardness into improv mastery. Longest laugh ever, one Redditor noted, and it holds up because it's so unexpected. Ames, who passed in 2023 at 95, often credited the incident for boosting his career. From Broadway singer to TV icon, it humanized the stoic Mingo character, showing Ames could poke fun at himself. In a pre-viral era, word of mouth made it legendary. Today, it's a reminder of TV's golden age, when mishaps weren't scripted, but sparked genuine joy. This tomahawk tale isn't just funny, it's a snapshot of Carson's genius. He could have cut away or played it safe, but he leaned in, milking the absurdity for all it was worth. No wonder The Tonight Show ran for 30 years under his watch. If you're hunting for more retro hilarity, dig up the full segment. Just brace yourself for side-splitting pain. Ed Ames's low blow, high art and comedy. 3. Dolly Parton's bold, 1977 Tonight Show. Stunner, the low-cut dress that made Johnny Carson offer a year's pay for a peek. By 1977, Dolly Parton was already a country music legend, but she was just beginning her full-blown takeover of America. Fresh off the massive success of Here You Come Again, her first big pop crossover hit, the 31-year-old Tennessee Fireball walked onto the Tonight Show stage looking like pure walking dynamite. Big blonde wig piled high, sparkling stage makeup, and a skin-tight, deeply plunging top that left very, very little to the imagination. The studio audience let out an audible cape the second she sat down. Johnny Carson, the master of cool, couldn't help but stare, and then he went for it. The conversation started innocently enough. Her new album, Life Back in Tennessee, the usual late-night chit-chat. But everyone in the room, including the 11:30 p.m. viewers at home, knew exactly where this was heading. Dolly's famous figure had been the subject of 1,000 jokes already, and Johnny, never one to shy away from a good setup, leaned in with that signature mischievous grin. Dolly, playing along like the pro she was, gestured toward her chest and said with a laugh, "I tell you what, these are mine." Johnny didn't miss a beat. He looked straight at the camera, deadpan for a second, and dropped a line that would live forever in TV infamy. "I have certain guidelines on my show, but I would give about a year's pay to peek under there." The studio exploded. Dolly threw her head back and laughed so hard she could barely breathe. That big, infectious, genuine Dolly laugh that could light up an entire barn. The audience roared right along with her. For a few glorious seconds, The Tonight Show felt less like network television and more like a rowdy honky-tonk on a Saturday night. But here's where it gets juicy. That single sentence crossed a line that 1977 America wasn't quite ready for. The switchboards lit up. Letters poured into NBC by the sackful. Some amused, many outraged. How dare he speak to a lady like that on television? This is family viewing time. Johnny Carson should be ashamed. Conservative viewers were scandalized. Women's groups rode in. Even some of Carson's regular fans felt he'd gone too far. Johnny, sensing the heat the next day, actually addressed the backlash in his own sly way on future shows. He never issued a stiff on-air apology, that wasn't his style, but he did admit in the moment right after the joke that he felt a little tacky for saying it, a rare crack in his unflappable armor. The incident quietly became a turning point. It showed that the old rules of polite late-night banter were cracking. Female stars were no longer just going to sit there and blush. They were owning their bodies, their image, and their power. And Dolly? She laughed it off like a queen, never once playing the victim. In fact, years later, she joked that the whole thing helped put her on the map even faster. What made the moment so unforgettable wasn't just the shock value, it was the chemistry. Johnny wasn't being mean. He was being Johnny, the charming, slightly naughty uncle who always pushed just far enough. Dolly wasn't offended. She was in on the joke. She matched his energy, flipped it right back, and left the entire country talking for weeks. In an era when most female guests still played it safe and demure, Dolly showed up unapologetically herself, curves, wit, and all. That single appearance did more than sell records. It helped redefine what was acceptable on primetime television. Suddenly, cleavage wasn't just something to whisper about. It could be celebrated, joked about, and owned by the woman wearing it. Dolly turned a potentially awkward moment into pure entertainment gold and walked away even more beloved than when she arrived. And the best part, she and Johnny remained friends for decades. She'd returned to the show many times, always with that same sparkle, always ready to trade barbs. But none ever topped that first electric night in 1977. So the next time someone tells you late night TV used to be tame, show them this clip. One dress, one perfectly timed zinger, and television standards were never quite the same again. But if you thought Dolly pushed the flirtation envelope about as far as it could go, just wait. The next guest on our list took things from playful to downright steamy and left Johnny completely speechless for an entirely different reason. You're not going to believe what Arnold Schwarzenegger compared his workouts to on national television. 4. Arnold Schwarzenegger's steamy 1979 Tonight Show. Bombshell. The pump that pumped up the scandal and left Carson begging for a towel. Oh, the late 70s, disco fever raging, bell-bottoms clinging for dear life, and a young Arnold Schwarzenegger strutting onto the Tonight Show like a walking slab of Austrian beefcake, ready to flex more than just his biceps. This was October 4th, 1979. Folks, back when Arnie was still mostly known as a bodybuilding champ, fresh off snagging his 6th Mr. Olympia title and dipping his toes into Hollywood with bit parts that screamed, "Look at those pecs." Johnny Carson, the unflappable ringmaster of late night, probably thought he was in for a standard chat. Talk weights, diet, maybe a quick pose. Little did he know, Schwarzenegger was about to drop a verbal dumbbell that would smash right through the glass ceiling of TV decency, leaving the host red-faced, the audience gasping, and the producers scrambling like they just spotted a censor in the crowd. Picture it. The Burbank studio lights dim for the guest spot. Carson, in his crisp suit, introduces the 32-year-old muscle machine with that warm, avuncular vibe. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who makes Hercules look like a lightweight, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie lumbers out, all smiles and accents thicker than his quads, towering over the desk like a human Hummer. The crowd cheers. After all, this guy's body is a work of art, sculpted from endless reps and protein shakes. They start easy. Carson asks about the bodybuilding life, the discipline, the grind. Arnie, ever the showman, dives in explaining the thrill of the sport. But then, oh then, he veers into territory that no one saw coming. He's talking about the pump, that euphoric rush when your muscles swell during a killer workout, blood rushing in like a tidal wave. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. With a straight face and that signature growl, Arnie compares it to, well, let's just say he equates it to the most intimate moment a man can have with a woman, culminating in that ultimate peak of pleasure. It's like having relations with a woman and reaching the climax, he says, or words to that effect. The exact phrasing has been debated, but the impact, nuclear. The studio falls into a stunned hush, then erupts in a mix of shocked laughs and awkward coughs. Carson, the king of quick wit, freezes like a deer in headlights. His eyes widen, he shifts in his seat, and you can practically see the sweat beading on his forehead. Well, that's quite the analogy, he stammers, trying to steer the ship back to safer waters. But the damage is done. The airwaves just got a dose of raw, unfiltered Arnie, and America's living rooms are buzzing with, did he really just say that? Behind the scenes, pandemonium. Producers in the control room are hitting panic buttons faster than Arnie hits the bench press. This is 1979, remember? Pre-cable explosion, when network TV was still the family hearth, governed by strict FCC rules in the Ghost of the Haze Code. Jokes about bedroom antics? Fine in a nudge-wink way. But straight up equating gym highs to marital bliss's grand finale. That's the kind of talk that gets letters from outraged PTA moms and calls from affiliates threatening to yank the feed. Legend has it the switchboard lit up like a Christmas tree, with viewers split between those howling in delight and those clutching their pearls. One exec reportedly whispered, "We're done, that's the end of the show." Carson, recovering with his trademark charm, pivots to lighter fare, but the tension lingers like a bad squat form. Arnie, oblivious or maybe just too bold to care, grins through it all, probably thinking he just shared a profound truth from the Iron Temple. The fallout? Juicy as a rare steak. Schwarzenegger wasn't invited back for years. Not until the mid-'80s when he'd morphed into the Terminator in Hollywood's unstoppable force. Producers cited the sensitive content as the reason, a polite way of saying, "Dude, you scared the suits." In interviews later, Arnie shrugged it off with that maverick attitude. "I was just being honest. The pump is better than anything." But oh, the irony. This same guy would go on to govern California, preaching family values while dodging his own scandals. Carson, ever the pro, never badmouthed him publicly, but you bet that moment haunted the highlight reels. Clips circulated in bootleg VHS tapes among fans, whispered about like forbidden fruit. It was a harbinger of things to come, TV edging toward edgier content, where stars could get real without instant cancellation. Yet in '79, it was pure shock, a bodybuilder bearing his soul in metaphors in a way that made everyone question if the remote had a rewind button. Fast forward, and this quip has become lore in late-night annals. YouTube sleuths dig it up, racking views with titles like Arnie's Wild Confession That Broke Carson. Redditors debate, was it scripted? Nah. Offensive? Depends on your era. Hilarious? Absolutely. It humanized Arnie, showed he wasn't just a meathead, but a guy with passions that blurred lines between sweat and other exertions. Critics miffed at the time now see it as a cultural pivot, predating the raw celeb confessions of today. Imagine if it happened now. It'd trend on TikTok in seconds, with memes flying. But back then, it was a scandal that simmered, proving even Iron Men can rust the establishment. Arnie's pump parable wasn't just talk. It echoed his life philosophy: push limits, feel the burn, reap the rewards. From immigrant dreamer to governor to meme lord, he's flexed through it all. Carson's discomfort? Priceless fodder for the ages. So next time you're grunting through curls, think of that '79 night, when one analogy pumped up the controversy and left late night forever changed. But if Arnie's gym-to-bedroom bridge left jaws on the floor, hold on to your seats for the queen who turned flirtation into full frontal assault. Our final entry features a pop icon who didn't just push boundaries. She demolished them, leaving Carson flustered and the network begging for mercy. Enter Madonna in 1987, ready to make Like a Virgin look tame. 5. Madonna's raunchy 1987. Tonight Show. Assault, the thigh grab that turned Carson into a blushing mess and nearly torched the network. Buckle up, because if you thought the '80s were all neon leg warmers and synth pop fluff, Madonna's March 31st, 1987, appearance on The Tonight Show was a full-throttle reminder that the material girl came to conquer, and she didn't care whose personal space she invaded along the way. At 28, Madonna was already the undisputed queen of pop, riding high on True Blue, her mega album packed with hits like Papa Don't Preach and Open Your Heart. But this wasn't just a promo gig. It was a calculated seduction that left Johnny Carson fidgeting like a schoolboy, the audience in stunned silence, and NBC execs reaching for the panic button. We're talking thigh-touching, censored smut talk, and flirtation so blatant it could have melted the studio lights. The segment kicks off tame enough. Carson, the eternal straight man, welcomes her with his usual polish. Madonna saunters out in a black lace bustier that screams, "Look, but don't touch." Except she had other plans. Barely seated, she leans in, eyes locked on Carson like he's her next conquest. The chat veers into her videos, and bam, she drops details on a steamy scene from Open Your Heart that got axed for being too hot for MTV. It was me in a peep show booth doing things that, well, let's just say it involved a lot of grinding and not much clothing, she purrs, painting a vivid picture of simulated ecstasy that had the live crowd shifting uncomfortably. Carson chuckles nervously, but Madonna amps it up, describing the erotic dance with hand gestures that left little to the imagination. Then comes the bombshell moment. Without warning, she reaches over and plants her hand firmly on Carson's thigh. Not a pat, a full-on grip, lingering like she owns the joint. "Johnny, you're such a naughty boy," she teases, her voice dripping with innuendo. Carson's face turns beet red. He squirms, laughs it off with a, "Whoa there," but you can see the panic in his eyes. The audience gasps, half thrilled, half horrified. This wasn't playful banter. It was Madonna flipping the script on male-dominated TV, turning the host into her prop. She follows with lines like, "I'd love to take you home and show you my etchings," winking at the camera as if daring the censors to blink. Chaos ensues off stage. NBC, already on edge with Madonna's rep for pushing buttons. Remember her like a virgin wedding dress stunt at the VMAs? Slaps on a 5-second delay. The network's emergency break for live broadcast gone wild. Producers huddle, debating cuts on the fly, while execs fume in their offices. Post-show, the backlash hits. Viewer complaints flood in, calling it indecent and disrespectful. Higher-ups decree she's persona non grata. No more invites for years, labeling her behavior over the top and a liability. Madonna? She laughs it off in later interviews, calling it just fun and crediting it for boosting her rebel image. This wasn't accidental. It was Madonna's manifesto, owning her sexuality in a man's world, shocking the squares, and rewriting the rules. Carson later admitted it was one of his most memorable moments. In hindsight, it foreshadowed her empire, from sex book scandals to boundary-busting tours. Shocking? Hell yes, but that's why she's iconic, turning a thigh grab into cultural dynamite. And there you have it, folks. The top 5 most jaw-dropping guest moments on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, from Drew Barrymore's toothless serenade to Madonna's thigh-grabbing flirt fest that nearly broke the broadcast code. These weren't just TV blips, they were cultural earthquakes, blending innocence, audacity, and pure unscripted chaos that redefined late-night entertainment. Johnny's charm turned mishaps into magic, proving why his show remains a timeless blueprint for hosts today. Whether it's Ed Ames's below-the-belt bullseye or Arnold's steamy pump confession, these stories remind us how one wild second can echo for decades. What's your favorite shocking Carson clip? Did we miss a gem like Zaza Gabor's slap or Robin Williams' improv frenzy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your throwback tales and debating the wildest ones. If you dug this dive into Hollywood's hidden vaults, smash that subscribe button to Hollywood Files for more unearthed scandals, star secrets, and retro TV gold. Hit the bell for notifications, share with a fellow nostalgia junkie, and let's keep the conversation rolling. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.